Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We are talking about Star Wars Legion today. So much news coming out of Adepticon for Legion. It's out of this world, folks. It is so crazy. It's going to knock your socks off. Boom. There's my socks. It just knocked them. They got socks are flying everywhere. Boba Fett socks. They're all over the place. Socks are everywhere. I got socks on my head. I got socks. They're gone. They're gone. They're knocked clean off. No more socks. This is why I always say always wash your socks, because you never know when they're going to get knocked off, and you don't want dirty socks flowing up on camera when we're talking about Star Wars Legion. A lot of stuff to talk about. Adepticon just happened. AMG put out this panel unveiling loads of information. It was a massive content dump and everything that is coming. We're going to talk about it all. We are doing also a massive giveaway for a Star Wars Shatterpoint core set. If you want to have a chance to win this, it's going to come in the form of a $165 Amazon gift card. So if you want to have a chance to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. All you got to do is just let me know what your favorite playstyle or type of list is for Legion. And also, what you're most excited about from all of this stuff, if anything. Maybe there's something you just want to see that you didn't see. I just want to hear about it. Let's keep the discussion going. You can also join our Discord or follow social media or check out Crabbok.com for the free Legion AI expansion. All that is down in the video description below. So pretty cool stuff. Also, thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens, fully compatible with Star Wars Legion. These are double-sided. They're gorgeous. They're shiny. They're absolutely fantastic. I use them in all of my games. You're going to love these tokens. They're magnificent. And if you save 15% by using Crabbok VIP as your code, you're going to feel a lot better about it because that's a great code to use. So don't forget to head over to luxuryplaystyle.com, check them out, use that code. And if you're looking for like a gift for yourself, let your friends and family know this is what you're looking for. Give them that code so they can save as well. Let's go ahead and jump right into all of the great stuff that was talked about. We've got Ahsoka Tano. We've already kind of seen Ahsoka. By the way, the new model looks fantastic. Great paint job, great sculpt. I'm liking it. I'm really liking the details on the armor, the details on the head, on the Leku or for Twi'lek. I believe they're called something else for Togruta, but for the head tails, they look really, really good. But we also got Ahsoka's card here. Now, Ahsoka is going to come with 4 cards. They also confirmed that their 4th card is a teamwork card. So I don't think it's been really said who she's teaming up with just yet. I think Luke Skywalker is likely. It's definitely a possibility it'll be Luke Skywalker. Might also be a team up for maybe a generic Jedi. There's a lot of different things it could be. So I think that's exciting. I would love for it to be like a team up with like Ezra or Kanan or Sabine or something like that. I think Sabine is definitely a possibility. But since Ezra and Kanan aren't in game yet, that would be really cool. If it was like a team up for Ezra, you'd be like, oh, like what? I would be like, whoa. All right, so I apologize if I sound a little excited, because if you guys didn't know, I get really excited about this stuff. That's why I make content, because this is like crazy fun time. All right, so Ahsoka, 165 points. She's an operative. 165 is not too bad for a strong operative. She's a Jedi, so she's going to have a lot of the standard Jedi stuff. She's got 2 Force, 2 training. Okay, all right, so lightsabers aren't the best. They're not bad. They're not the best. They're kind of mid-range lightsabers. She got two red, 2 black, and 2 white. But what makes them better is she's got built-in surge to crit all the time. That's going to be really good on these lightsabers, and especially when you couple that with her Jar-Kai mastery, she's going to be getting pretty consistent results if she's got some dodges. I mean, you're going to probably need to modify 2 to 3 dice on average per attack to max out. And if you have anything to give her rerolls, then that's even better. If she can manage to get some aim tokens thrown in there, that's going to be even better. Although she won't really have to rely on aims very much. She's going to want dodges more so than anything else. She's got jump 2, which is actually really high for her. And I feel like I was just watching a recap from Rebels when Ahsoka comes out. My favorite scene in Rebels, one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. It's Ahsoka versus the fifth brother and the seventh sister. That first time you really see Fulcrum Ahsoka in Rebels like kind of open up, and she just owns these Inquisitors. And it's a brilliant scene because it also demonstrates her restraint, and it shows you that while she's no Jedi anymore, at the same time she's still good. And she is still one with the Force, and she is still incredibly powerful and a force to be reckoned with. So I absolutely love that duel. And I feel like this is kind of representing that, because at the end she jumps really high up. So I feel like the jump 2 is kind of indicative of her massive Force potential. Surprisingly, though, she does not have Master of the Force, which is pretty interesting. And it's a nice, I think you could make the argument for either way, but I think it's more of a game balance thing because they don't want to make her too strong. So I get that. I won't be surprised if she has command cards that let her recover and things like that too. Ventress has something like that, so you probably get something like that with Ahsoka. But jump 2 is good. Charge, again, she's going to be primarily a melee character, so charge is going to be really good. Defend 1 for that free dodge. Deflect to spend those dodges. It's regular deflect, though, so you're not going to be able to, you're going to have to use that for against ranged attacks, pretty much. You're not going to get that defensive surge in melee, so she's going to be a little bit vulnerable in melee, but only a little bit, because she will still have dodge tokens that she can cancel results with normally. She is immune to pierce. Again, it's typical Jedi stuff, right? So deflect and immune to pierce, pretty standard. At least jump 1 is pretty standard. Charge is moderately standard. Some kind of attack after move is something you'd expect. But Jarkai Mastery, we've already seen that with Ventress. So again, you can spend dodge tokens to improve attack results. But this is only on melee attacks. So again, while you can give her Saber Throw, you'll be able to pick which 3 dice you roll, which one you'd go with. You'd go with 2 red and a black. It wouldn't be great. You'd have Surge to Crit built in there, so it wouldn't be terrible. It's the jury's out if Saber Throw is really the way to go here. I think you want probably Burst of Speed. I think you want things to close the gap, and Burst of Speed would be good. You have 2 speed, 3 moves. One of them will have Jump 2 on it, and then you have Charge at the end of that. That can be pretty cool. There's options all about that. She has 6 health and 3 courage. So she's not gonna, 6 health is pretty good, for a melee assassin. So I like it. And I can't wait to see what her command cards are gonna do. We also got our first look at actual Ewok unit cards. We only can see Wicket here, so we don't get a whole lot of information about the Ewoks. They are going to be mercenaries. Wicket at least will work with the Rebels. I don't know if all of the Ewoks will work with the Rebels, but Wicket will work with the Rebels, which is cute. I love that. I love him. I want him and Leia together. Wicket's just awesome. I just love little Wicket, and Leia takes off the helmet and he backs away with his little spear. He's so cute. Anyhow, he's 70 points as a commander, which is so interesting too for him to be a commander. Yeah, if he's in the Rebels as a commander, that's just so interesting. But him and Leia, I'm sure there'll be some kind of something kind of cool stuff there. But he has independent dodge 1. Which is cool. Free dodge. He's got low profile and nimble, so he's going to get that dodge token. He's going to keep refreshing that dodge token. 5 health on him, 2 courage, white defense die, but surge for defense. He's got surge to critical, too, for his attack, which you're going to mostly use for melee. He's got 3 dice for melee, so a nice little melee attacker. He also has Scout 1 and Scouting Party 2. Although the Scouting Party 2 isn't going to work too well if you don't have other Ewoks to go with him. He wants to lead other Ewoks. I'm sure there'll be at least 1 core unit or something like that of Ewoks that can probably go with the Rebels also, because otherwise if you can't also bring Ewoks to the Rebels, I don't see a whole lot of reason to bring Wicket on his own to the Rebels, because unless the primitive keyword has some kind of crazy, we don't know what that's going to do. I have my guess, because he only rolls one die at range 2. His sling is really, really weak for a 70-point character. And so my guess is primitive is going to have some kind of thing where maybe you can't apply surge, you can't convert surges on this or something like that. That would be a guess. It's because it sounds like it's going to be like a negative thing, but it could also be like a bonus thing, like maybe it goes through shields or something like that. So primitive could be a very interesting keyword. Don't know what it does. He does have sharpshooter too, with only 1 die, which is really funny. And he has unhindered, so he's going to be able to get through terrain pretty easy. 3 training slots on him as well. We also see Logray's card, but only the back of it. So he's got suppressive, probably some kind of magic or magic dust or something he pulls out of his medicine pouch. He was like the Ewok medicine man or the shaman kind of figure. So that's going to work for me. We don't really know much else about the Ewoks, but I'm sure there will be more information. We do have some command cards here. So now there are 4 command cards. I want to point out that these are all Ewok specific command cards. There's 2 1-pips in there, so that's kind of cool. I'm guessing these might be the only 4 that we get, because one of them is a no units one. That log traps is really cool, so that one's a little bit more situational. But yeah, you're getting Arboreal Assault, which is going to be a 1-pip that issues 2 Ewok Trooper units. And they're basically the weapons of your Ewok Troopers that have face-up orders are going to gain Suppressive and Immobilize. And after a Special Forces, which means Ewoks are going to have Special Forces, right, or at least access to Special Forces somehow. After they perform an attack against a unit with a face-up order token, they shuffle that order back into its pool, kind of like Dooku. That's an awful lot for a 1-pip, and also giving out 2 orders. And if there are any other ways to kind of spread those orders around, that makes that one even better. So very, very interesting. I'm wondering if all Ewoks will be Special Forces, or will they also have core? You know, I'm wondering what all we don't know about how they're gonna implement these, which is interesting. And apparently the battle force's name is Bright Tree Village, right? That's the Ewok battle force if you want to run them all on their own. The other one is Log Traps. It doesn't issue any orders to any units, but it says this round, at the start of the activation phase, an Ewok Trooper unit that contains an Ewok Trooper miniature, may make the attack listed below. Range 1 to 4, impact 4, pierce 1. And I think the deal is with that Ewok Trooper unit, there is one Ewok Trooper unit that will not contain an Ewok Trooper miniature, which would be the Chewbacca in the ATST. So Chewbacca couldn't do this, but any actual Ewoks could. Hiding in Plain Sight is another really, really cool one. It's 2 trooper units. It is an actual 2-pip, 2 Ewok trooper units. You must nominate an Ewok unit, and units issued an order by this card gain Inconspicuous this round. So it's weird for it to say you must nominate an Ewok Commander unit, because I'm like, well, who... Like, is Chewbacca going to have Field Commander, and maybe, like, he's one that can't do it or something like that? Or, if it's already Bright Village only, why would you not have an Ewok? Maybe if your Ewok dies, then... Maybe if your Ewok Commander dies, then you lose access to all these cards. Or at least 3 of them. Log Traps, it looks like you'd still have access to. And then you have For the Tribe, your 3-pip. It issues orders to 3 Ewok units. It says you must nominate an Ewok Commander unit this round at the beginning of the activation phase. Units issued orders by this card may recover. And then this round, Ewok Troopers with a face-up order token gain Dauntless and Relentless. So, pretty good card. Pretty good card. These seem like pretty decent cards. I don't know how great they're going to be, but I guess we'll have to wait and see all the rest of the Ewoks. It looks pretty cool. Speaking of Ewoks, I guess this is another example of a commander that's not an actual Ewok miniature, C-3PO. Again, I was thinking maybe Chewbacca would have Field Commander. He might. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But C-3PO, only 40 points. We're getting an Ewok commander. He's a master storyteller. He is a commander. I love it. The Golden God. He's got so many really cool little things. He has no attack at all. He cannot attack at all. So this is kind of cool. He's the first. I think he's the first person that can't attack, right? Even the C-3PO with with R2-D2 has at least 1 white die. His little kick. He does have Search for Defense and a white dice. I guess that's plot armor. A little bit of plot armor. He still gets shot a lot, but usually doesn't completely die. Only 3 health and 2 courage. And he's a droid trooper. 40 points for commander. He does not work with the rebels, though. I'll point that out. He's Ewok Battle Force only. You can still use C-3PO in the rebels. You just have to use him with R2-D2. But he's not going to be able to be a golden god for the rebels. They're like, nah, they'll turn him off. Anyway, he has Master Storyteller. So depending on what round it is, he can hand out 2 Surge tokens. So the farther at round 6, he can handing out 12 Surge tokens. So that's pretty cool. He can compel Ewok troopers, and he has Infiltrate, which is really interesting. I just don't know why they put compel Ewok trooper and then Infiltrate with a comma afterwards. Or or is it the only compelling Ewok troopers that have infiltrate? Right, or because otherwise I would imagine infiltrate would be its like the start of its own line, So I'm guessing like he can only compel Ewok troopers that happen to have infiltrate, not any Ewok trooper. That's my guess on why they worded it like that. Why infiltrate is after there with a comma. Because I don't think C-3PO is going to be able to just have. You wouldn't want him infiltrating like, oh, C-3PO is behind enemy lines. Like that doesn't make much sense. He'd be surrounded by Ewoks. And he has divine influence. While they are within range 1 of C-3PO, Ewok trooper units gain Guardian 2 C-3PO. While using Guardian, they can cancel crit results as though they were hit results. So he's got his Ewok bodyguards. Now, he might actually have infiltrate, and if there's like other Ewoks that have infiltrate, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'm kind of guessing we'll see a lot of Ewoks with infiltrate. We're also getting Chewbacca in an ATST. This will be the Battle Force only, I believe. And and he's going to obviously have some similarities to an existing ATST, but possibly some new abilities as well. Let's talk about this beautiful piece of artwork right here. We're not done. We're getting a whole new Battle Force. One of the first ever Battle Force ideas that was teased by Alex Davey and Luke Eddy back at like Adepticon at like 2018 or something like that. Long time ago. And they were still talking about in the early days of Legion. I think this was maybe even when the Clone Wars was first announced or something like that. Or maybe when the Clone Wars first came out. They talked about wanting to do sub-factions, and they mentioned like briefly like Gungans and Geonosians might make great options or whatever. So a lot of people, including myself, have long been awaiting those two. Today one of those is real. Although it's not out yet. The Geonosians, at least, are actually coming. You're going to have certain named Geonosians like Sunfac and Poggle the Lesser, and you're going to actually see them. They look awesome. They're CIS Battle Force. Assuming, like most of these type of battle forces, some will be usable in CIS. Some may only be usable in Geonosians. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But they look really groovy, too, don't they? Those look really cool. I like what they're doing here. I really do. It's super groovy, and hopefully it'll be viable to run like an all Geonosian list. I'm curious what else is going to come out with the Geonosians, if they're going to have like zombie Geonosians, if they're going to have any other kind of larger artillery or what. But man, those guys look super cool. Then they're doing the flying poses. One thing I like that AMG has done over the FFG, like the process improvements, is they've gotten rid of the flight stands, and they've gone for other ways to show flight, like somebody leaping off of a piece of terrain, or explosions, or effects, or something like that, but things that you can paint. The problem I had with flight stands is I always had to tape them up when I'm doing my priming and things like that. You want them to remain clear, but you want the mini fully assembled, and it has its pros and cons, but I definitely prefer like this whole, like I'm leaping and this is like the effect, that's propelling me off the base, or here's a branch or something that I'm flying, but my foot is kind of touching the branch. So I like that look better. It's a little bit easier to paint and make the whole thing come together. And so that's pretty cool. But they look great. I'm excited about them. They're not my favorite alien species in Star Wars, so I'm really more so looking forward to Gungans. I really hope. I hope Gungans are coming too. But at the same time, to make a sub-faction, to make a battle force, especially one that's going to be distinct and different, it requires a lot of time, model sculpting, a lot of play testing, a lot of development time, cards, models, play testing, balance, and integration with everything else. So I hope they take their time. I hope this is a really fun and beautiful, awesome looking battle force, and I hope that they put this much time, if not even more, into Gungans whenever Gungans come out. I'm really hoping Gungans come out. They didn't announce Gungans. I hope that's on the drawing board. I hope there's a plan for Gungans, because I really, really, really want a big Gungan battle force. Speaking of other new product, man, I tell you what, dude, socks are flying everywhere today. Socks are just knocked off. It's crazy. Dude, Inquisitors, Star Wars Rebels, era Inquisitors. Not getting now. We don't have the Grand Inquisitor, at least not at this time. Maybe we will. But dude, fifth brother and seventh sister. Dude, I'm very close to the top of my wish list. The Empire needed more Sabers, and it's actually coming. This is so exciting. So we don't know a whole lot about these. They definitely appear to be representing their Star Wars Rebels kind of appearances. They also are somehow going to have a way that they can both occupy a single operative slot. So this way, I'm guessing to make room for other operatives. I feel like they wanted to future-proof this to where there could be multiple operatives in the future, and maybe you want to do like 3 Inquisitors together. Maybe the Grand Inquisitor will... I don't know. I see the Grand Inquisitor being a commander, though. I see him kind of filling the role of commander. But there's so many other Inquisitors in the canon now, named Inquisitors. Inquisitors from Obi-Wan, Inquisitors from Star Wars Rebels, Inquisitors from Jedi Fallen Order, and things like that. There's a lot of room for if you want to go like a little bit Inquis heavy. If you want to... but then again, nobody expects the Imperial Inquisition. But no, they look great. I'm a little not crazy about the Seventh Sisters lightsaber, the flare that they've got there. I was doing a live stream talking about this, and I like that they have a new direction for like the blade effects. But at the same time, it's inconsistent with every other blade that's out there. So she's gonna stand out amongst all your other lightsaber miniatures, and that might not be a good thing. Fortunately, if you don't like that, you can easily just shave that right off with an X-Acto knife, and then it'll look just like every other lightsaber. So I feel like it's not going to really. If you're not a big fan of the little effect that she's got, the twirling light streak effect, it'd be real easy to get rid of that. So I thought that's pretty cool that you have some options there. And we got Store Championships coming. Store Championships are also coming with Star Wars Legion. We're going to be seeing lots of new promos at the store level, so you won't have to travel as far for these as you would for like regionals or Grand Championships and all this other stuff. They're going back to that local store level. These are kind of like OP kits, but these are going to give you promos and lots of entry prizes and alternate art cards. Looks like we're getting an alternate art Yoda and Vader and Chewbacca and Grievous and and Boba Fett and what Pikes and even new battle cards, probably with some errata and things like that probably implemented in them. So very, very cool. And it's also a chance for you to get a Worlds invite too by winning a store championship. So these are all really cool. I like to see this new direction for the games. But there's one more really, really cool spoiler that they saved for the last. And it's a lot of folks were saying, like, what about the Republic? What about the Republic? And granted, I was hoping it was going to be Gungans, but it's not. It's something very, very cool, though. It's Clone Force 99, The Bad Batch. Now, they look awesome. Couple of things about the Bad Batch. First off, this isn't necessarily Clone Wars Season 7 Bad Batch, because you're also getting Omega in there, which I really like. Right? I really like that. You're getting all of them. You've got Echo in there too. You've got Hunter. You've got Crosshair. Very cool. But they have said that this expansion, like, you can run these guys with the Rebels or with the Republic. So that's kind of cool. Although again, the cynics, this is farther out, but some people are like, well, this might be viewed more as a dual faction and not really a dedicated Republic expansion. There's going to be more Republic expansions. We already know that Ahsoka is going to be made for the Republic too, right? You guys know that. And plus, Cody is on his way out. They're going to be. It's coming. We just have to be patient. We're not getting a whole new infusion of Republic units overnight. We've got to wait a little bit. But since these are already painted and look beautiful, I guess they're not exactly like 2 years out. It's probably, we'll probably see something on, these guys might be out before the end of the year. Maybe? They haven't said that. I think they're trying to like, hey, let's wait until it's closer before we announce it. But still, really cool. I love the fact that Omega's in there, because this means this is actually the Bad Batch TV show, so you'll have some reflections of the development of their characters as opposed to just their first appearance. Also, they are, I think that was about it. I was going to say, also, there may be more announcements on May the 4th. May the 4th, 5th, and 6th, they're going to be having more announcements. And so I do expect it to be largely Shatterpoint focused, but we might see a little bit more. We might see another Ahsoka thing. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, lots of Legion news. I'm kind of excited. There was a part of me that was afraid that like once we saw Ewoks and that was going to begin like the decline of Legion, and I feel like with all these new announcements, there's no end in sight for Legion. So if you were worried about Shatterpoint, hopefully this eases some of your concerns and shows you that like, look, AMG is developing some killer stuff for Star Wars Legion, and there's still a lot of really cool stuff. Top of my list after Gungans is probably take a look at the Book of Boba Fett and look at some of the cool stuff in there and see how we can get some of the cool things that were in that, especially in the series finale, in the season 1 finale, and in the game. Really cool stuff there too. There's so many other things too. There's so many other things. Plus, if you look at the stuff that's also coming out for Shatterpoint, maybe that'll make its way over into here and vice versa. A lot more cool stuff coming for Legion. So I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited too. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to jump in our Discord. And that's about it. I want to thank my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. So thank you for your continued support. We'll talk to you later. May the Yub Nub always be with you.